Welcome to fixitforgetit.com, where projects and ideas come together.
I used to have a freeze-resistant valve like this in my garage, and more often than not the thing would leak and left the garage floor wet most of the time. So I'm going to show you what I did to correct that situation. And the other thing is, my wife did not like to have to stoop way down low to turn the valve on and off. So I wanted that valve to be able to be controlled from, maybe 3 feet or better higher than it was. Wanted it well up off the ground, and I'm going to show you how I solved both problems. This is part of the solution to my problem. It's an Aquor water system, AQUOR, and it is called a house hydrant and connector, and it replaces your existing faucet. And this thing is fantastic. It just does not leak. I haven't had a bit of water on the garage floor since I replaced the old valve with this. What's different about it is it has your typical freeze-resistant tube here that allows it to shut off back behind the wall. But instead of having a valve or a faucet on the outside, you just have this flap right here that drops down to cover the opening that goes back into the valve tube. This part comes with it, which is this. So this just twists back into the valve, and then it's threaded on the end, and at that point water's just going to come out of there, and you shut it on, you turn it off and on at your hose. So I wasn't really crazy about that. I wanted to be able to shut it off if I wanted to. So I purchased separately this, which you'll see in a minute. It's hooked up in the garage. And this is a removable faucet. And this simply twists into the valve like that. Then you have a little gate valve here that you turn on and off, and your threaded connector for your hose is right there. So it comes down at an angle. I have the drop ceiling in my workroom pulled back so that we can have a look at this. And this is where the valve goes out into my garage. I have that Aquor valve installed now. You can see that that is that chrome tube you see right there. And I used a shark bite 1/2 inch straight connector and connected that to my water line, and that worked out quite well. And then I just put a little spray foam over there to seal things up and insulate it a bit. So let's go out into the garage now and have a look at this setup and see how we finish this project off. We're out in the garage now. This is where the old frost-free spigot used to be. It leaked all the time. We constantly had water down here on the floor. This is the new Aquor Frost spigot. We've had absolutely no problem with this. It has never leaked, and it's been on here for about a year now. You turn it this way to turn it off, this way to turn it on. My wife didn't like having to stoop down here to turn this on and off, so that was the point of this project. I made this modification. Now she can turn it on and off standing up. The parts you use to achieve this consist of this brass drop elbow. It has a threaded port coming in and a barbed port coming out. You just take the barbed port, shove a hose up on there, put a worm gear clamp on that, snug it down. Then you take this boiler drain valve, screw it in, and connect a hose coming out of that down to the valve on the floor. And then you come out of the barbed fitting on the bottom of that drop elbow and bring a hose around and up into your hose reel. So let me get back here so you can hopefully see that. So again, the way this thing goes, you come out of the spigot on the floor, bring a hose up, and that hose goes into the boiler drain valve. The water then feeds backward through the drop elbow, comes down, and back up into the hose reel. So that is the setup. This is a cast aluminum hose reel. I really like this thing. It's we've got 3 of these now. We've had one of them installed for about a year. The other 2 I put on this year. And some people have complained that sometimes they leak. We've had no trouble with that so far. And this hose, I love this thing. It's a Water-Right hose. It's made by a company called Water-Right. It's only 7/16 and it's really durable material. So it's very easy to pull out. And this thing rolls up very smoothly. Some people have complained about these hoses because for some reason the company promoted it as a tangle resistant hose. There's really no such thing. Any hose is subject to kinking or tangling, so you just have to be careful. But we have really liked these things. I got 100-foot sections, 2 of them are on there. Even with 200 feet I still have plenty of room. So let's see how this thing works. So that's running. No leaks. Everything's fantastic. Turned off. And that's it. So I'm just going to show you one more time because I know all these hoses can make you kind of go cross-eyed. By the way, that's just a little Wi-Fi water sensor there in case anything starts to leak. So far it has not. I also want to mention that this is something I've done. I'm not suggesting you do this. You have to keep in mind that if it got cold in your garage and you have these pieces of garden hose and stuff on here and water pressure all the time, or if you don't get your fittings snug, you could wind up with a mess, all kinds of leaks and stuff. So that's something that you would have to decide if you want to do or not. It's something that, you know, I can't be responsible for your choices, but it has worked out very well for me, and you'll have to decide if you want to give that a shot or not. But we've had this on here for a year and we've had no trouble. So you come out of the valve down on the floor, your hose will come up and feed into the boiler drain valve. Then the water goes back down through the drop elbow. Then that hose comes down, back up, feeds into the hose reel. Very easy to turn on and off. So I hope that that gives you an idea of how you might be able to set up your frost-free spigot in your garage in a way that it won't leak, and you can stop bending down to turn it on and off, come up to a comfortable position and be able to turn it on and off there. I will have some links down in the description. Those affiliate links will take you directly to the products, some of them that are mentioned in this project. This is John from fixitforgetit.com. I appreciate you stopping by, and we will see you in the next video.